I'm Ethan Cole. Welcome to Empire Lessons. On this channel, we explore the hidden strategies, psychology, decisions, and lessons behind some of the world's most successful companies, brands, and ideas. Because success rarely happens by accident. Behind every billion-dollar business is a series of decisions, and behind every decision is a lesson worth learning. Today, we're uncovering one of the most fascinating examples of all, the secret behind Apple's pricing. Imagine walking into a store. On one side, there's a smartphone for a few $100s. On the other side, a device that costs significantly more. Yet millions of people choose the expensive option. Not once, but again and again. Why? What makes customers willingly pay premium prices when alternatives exist? The answer is not just technology, it's psychology, and Apple understands psychology exceptionally well. Human beings often associate price with quality. In fact, studies have repeatedly shown that people expect expensive products to perform better, even before they use them. This is known as the price-quality effect, and it influences almost every purchasing decision we make. Apple understands that price is not only a number, price sends a message, and that message shapes perception. Most companies believe they sell products. The most successful companies understand they sell something much deeper. They sell confidence, convenience, identity, belonging. People don't buy a phone because of a processor. They buy how the product makes them feel. Apple built its business around this understanding, and it changed everything. Many businesses compete by lowering prices, but lower prices can sometimes create doubt. Consumers start asking questions. Why is it cheap? Is the quality good enough? Can I trust it? Premium pricing often creates the opposite reaction. It creates confidence, and confidence influences purchasing decisions more than most people realize. Before customers even use an Apple product, they've already formed an opinion. The packaging, the presentation, the simplicity, the attention to detail, every element communicates the same message. This product is premium. And when customers feel premium, they're often willing to pay premium prices. The companies that win don't always have the cheapest products. Sometimes they have the strongest perception. Apple's pricing strategy isn't built around selling technology. It's built around creating value in the customer's mind. And that value allows Apple to charge prices that many competitors can only dream about. But we've only scratched the surface, because Apple's biggest advantage isn't its products, and it isn't its pricing. It's the psychology behind the entire ecosystem. Most people think Apple sells products, but Apple actually sells something far more valuable: identity. Just think about it for a moment. When someone buys a luxury watch, they aren't simply buying a way to tell time. They're buying what that watch represents. Apple works the same way. Its products have become symbols of creativity. They represent the essential tools for the modern creator. Innovation, in fact, it is one of their most powerful symbols. Quality, it is the foundation of their premium brand. And status, a subtle but undeniable signal of achievement and taste. That emotional connection is incredibly powerful. Human beings naturally care about status. It's part of psychology. We constantly send signals about who we are, the clothes we wear, the cars we drive, the products we use. Apple understands this psychological signal deeply and applies it to every product. The company rarely talks about status directly. Instead, it allows customers to feel it themselves. And that's far more effective. One of Apple's most powerful pricing techniques is called anchoring. Here's how it works. Imagine you see a product priced at $2,000. Suddenly, a $1,000 product begins to feel reasonable, even if it's still expensive. Your brain now compares it to the higher number, not the lower one. Apple uses this strategy repeatedly, and it quietly influences how customers perceive value. Have you ever noticed that Apple often offers an extremely expensive version of a product? There's a reason. Not everyone is expected to buy it. Its presence changes how customers view every other option. The premium version makes the mid-tier option feel smarter, more balanced, more affordable. This is known as decoy pricing, and it's one of the most effective psychological pricing strategies in business. Many companies overwhelm customers with choices. Apple does the opposite. Fewer options, cleaner decisions, less confusion. Psychologists call this reducing decision fatigue. The easier it is to decide, the more likely people are to buy. Apple removes complexity, and simplicity becomes a competitive advantage. This is where Apple's strategy becomes truly powerful. A customer buys an iPhone, then AirPods, then a smartwatch, then a laptop. Each device works seamlessly with the others. Everything feels connected. Everything feels effortless. And once customers enter the ecosystem, leaving becomes difficult. Not because they're trapped, because staying feels easier. Most people think loyalty comes from loving a brand. Often, loyalty comes from convenience. The easier something makes your life, the harder it becomes to replace. Apple understands this better than almost anyone. Convenience creates habits, habits create loyalty, and loyalty creates pricing power. Here's the second major lesson. People don't always buy the best product. They often buy the product that feels safest, most trusted, most familiar, most convenient. Apple's greatest achievement may not be its technology, it may be its ability to shape perception. And that perception, ultimately, influences behavior. But there's still one question left. How does all of this translate into billions of dollars in profit? And what can businesses learn from Apple's strategy? At this point, Apple's strategy begins to reveal itself. Premium pricing, strong perception, customer loyalty, a connected ecosystem. This is one of the reasons Apple generates enormous profits year after year. Many competitors attempt to copy Apple's products, some even match the features. But copying products is easier than copying perception. A competitor can build a similar device. They cannot instantly build decades of trust. They cannot instantly create emotional connection. And they cannot instantly create an ecosystem used by millions. That's why Apple's advantage is much bigger than technology. Its real advantage exists inside the customer's mind. Investors often talk about something called a moat. A moat protects a castle from attack. In business, a moat protects a company from competitors. Apple's moat isn't a single product. It's a combination of trust, brand recognition, customer experience, ecosystem integration, and psychological positioning. Together, these create one of the strongest business moats in the world. Many businesses believe success comes from being cheaper, so they lower prices, then competitors lower theirs. Soon, everyone is competing in a race to the bottom. Apple chose a different path. Instead of lowering prices, it focused on increasing perceived value. And that's an important lesson. Customers don't always buy the cheapest option, they buy the option they trust most. The first lesson is simple. Don't compete only on price, compete on value. When customers clearly understand your value, price becomes less important. This principle applies to businesses of every size. The second lesson is to build trust before asking for loyalty. Trust takes years to build. But once established, it becomes one of the most valuable assets a business can own. Customers return to brands they trust, again and again. The third lesson is to make life easier for customers. Convenience creates habits. Habits create loyalty. And loyalty creates long-term success. The easier your solution becomes, the harder it is to replace. The story of Apple's pricing isn't really about products. It's about human behavior. It's about perception. It's about psychology. And it's about understanding what people truly value. Because the most successful companies don't simply sell things, they understand people. And that understanding becomes their greatest advantage. So, what's the real secret behind Apple's pricing? It's not technology, it's not marketing, and it's not even the products themselves. The real secret is understanding how people think, how they make decisions, and how value is created in the mind. Because in business, perception often becomes reality, and those who understand that principle gain a powerful advantage. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What company, business strategy, success story, or psychological topic would you like to see next on Empire Lessons? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Your idea might become our next documentary. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Empire Lessons for more stories, strategies, wealth lessons, psychology, and powerful insights. Until next time, keep learning, keep thinking, and keep building your empire. I'm Ethan Cole. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.